Howdy, y'all. And howdy and hello. By the way, let's all remind ourselves why we're actually here. We're here for Steph. No Skip. I feel bad for Steph. So I specifically chose no Raiders gear at this point in time. Didn't want to make her miss the man too damn much. In case anybody's watching other than Steph, it's a Savinelli Trevi 320. That's right, in Raiders colors, of course. And I'm coming to the end of the big bag of Revelation that y'all noticed I've been smoking all month. That's by Sutliff. So this is the Savinelli Trevi KS 320, which stands for king size, so I've been told. I got this from the Pipe Nook. Y'all know Eddie Gray? You should know Eddie Gray. Don't worry, Steph, you will do fine. Thank you, Skip. I appreciate that comment. I couldn't seem to find one in a nasty red and white, but I'll look. Uh-oh. Will that be a little white paper wrapped stick, or will it be a full-sized actual cigar. Inquiry, no, don't tell me, don't tell me. I want to see what happens all on my own. I'm hoping it's not the paper wrap sticks. We're going to try and get you off of those while Skip's away. Exactly. Good luck with that, Skip. I know for a certain fact that I've never seen a red and white Savinelli. At least not those colors of red and white. In case y'all are wondering, I am having coffee out of my Death Nuts 3.0 mug. No, I didn't go with the 3.0. Hell, I didn't even go with the 2.0. Someone did that to me on purpose. Mostly because I'm meaner than you. And I'm the only one mean enough to do stuff like that to me. I seriously doubt there's anybody mean enough to really go and dose me with Death Nuts. But yeah, it was up there in the brutal sections. I'll admit to it. That was the last time I was wearing red. I think Skip got a kick out of that. My face going full Kansas City Chiefs colors. Trash guys, sorry about the noise. They ran early today. Remember, they normally show up at the very, very end of my show, and I started early. They're on the other side of the street leaving. Ah. ¿Qué pasó, hermano? Pretty sure we all know who Jose is. Howdy, sir. How is life in Villarica? Has the house moved? Finally. We've been seeing that you've been having these issues, and well, we're all kind of hoping that they get resolved quickly so that you're not having these issues. But it feels like Houston, Jose, because it's been raining and warming all week here. Oh, by the way, in case y'all are not aware of this, there's a guy out there called Gamecock Piper. He said he'd go and do some of these spicy challenges. I told him he shouldn't, but if he's willing to, I mean, I'll pass the crown. Somebody wants to go past level 3 of Death Nuts in the YTPC community. I am so willing to hand them the crown and just say, here, have it. You're the chief pepperhead. It's okay. I can handle it. I didn't say I need to be the top dog. Good, Jose. We're glad to hear that. We're very glad to hear that. So, let's remember, Steph's going to be by herself today, which is going to be a little bit unusual. Let's make sure to turn out, give her a good show turnout, and let's not pick on her too much. I don't think anybody's going to pick on Steph. Howdy, Mike. So glad to see you today. So right now I can say we've got one person watching from south of me and 3 people watching from way north of me. Well, no, 2 people watching from way north of me and 1 person watching from, well, just really seriously west of me. But it shows I've got 7 people in. Don't be afraid. Type something in, fellas. Ladies, gentlemen. It's okay to say hi. We're an inclusive group here. Steph, if we see a troll, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to go find their channel, and they are going to love having the most miserable life for a long, long time. Oh, that's right. Mike got himself a Phil Rivara Lavat. I'm waiting to see it on a certain Zoom meeting coming soon. Now, for those of y'all who don't know who Philip Rivara is, I'm pretty sure you've been living under a rock. And not the good kind. We're talking about full methamphetamines. Which brings me to my next statement. Don't do crack. Isn't that what LT said during the Waterboy? Yes, Mike, it certainly is on Phil's channel, but I'm wanting to see you smoking it. That's what really makes the pipe complete, in my opinion. I've seen beautiful pipes, and when I imagine them here, I couldn't see it. Because it was one of those, it's either too pretty for my face, or it's not my style, or seriously, there's a lot to saying that it's a finished pipe and it's beautiful. Yes, I agree with that statement, not a problem. But there's that look of contentment and happiness as something like that shows up in your hand and you're smoking it and you're just like, oh my God, I'm freaking happy. That's that look that I'm looking for. The plane. I'm a little taller than Tattoo. I've got a few tattoos. Just saying. There are some pipes that I do really, really want. I do at some point in time want a church wart. I'm just not sure which one I want yet. I do at some point in time want a J Mouton pipe. Again, I'm not sure which one I want. I would love to have a Philip Rivara pipe. Again, though I'm pretty curious. That is not a 320 Jose. That is the 320. That is a 7LE Trevi. You can tell because it's got the silver band with the old style. Oh, it's not going to show up. The old style Roman archway looking band, and it used to have that white lettering down in the S, but well, I do polish them a little bit with a little bit of a thing that I use, and a really, really soft cloth. But now that I've owned this pipe for a little over a year, and I smoke it about once a week, normally for special occasions. So Steph, yes, this is a special occasion. And yes, it's probably my favorite pipe, but that's because, look, I've got a big hand and it fits beautifully. It's comfortable in either hand. When it's smoked, it does not get warm. It doesn't gurgle. It has ability to have a filter, but I don't ever use it. Oh, crap. Okay. That's good to know. Let's get the word out to keep Mr. Onion in our thoughts and prayers. Most of us know Onion. He might not be as well known as Matches. Few of us are. The helicopter, the helicopter. Yes, I do have a flight plan that goes pretty much right over the top of my house. Yes, yes, he is very well known. And we don't need to be having a annual somebody getting missed. Well, Patches, aka Mike, we already had a plane fly over. So when the helicopter flew over, I just figured it was time to go. The helicopter, the helicopter. Because I did do it for the plane. Had to be done. It's crazy that way. So what have we learned this week? We've learned that people named Glenn still hate Stonehaven. We've learned that Martin can spot a swinging, well, it's a four-letter word that starts with D. He can spot it in milliseconds. We've learned that if you're going to sand a pipe and then stain it, you better have the right sand and the right stain. Oh wait, we didn't learn that this week. I already knew that. We've learned that Mike is patching his house so that he can have things done just right. If y'all are watching one of mine, you've learned how to tell a woman or how to teach a woman to smoke a cigar. Skip, it is great that you were here. Sorry that you are so far away. Just know that we're thinking about you, brother. You stay safe out there, especially if you're out on the water. That shit's cold. Don't forget your Gumby suit. Oh, we have learned that Glenn is still the voice of reason if you are shopping for a pipe or a tobacco other than Stonehaven. He's very unreasonable if you're shopping for Stonehaven. Well, Glenn, what you need to do is make a round, perfectly shaped, probably slightly dimpled, most definitely out of some very seriously strong wood, that will take a tin of Elizabethan, and as the ram sets on it, it will press it into the perfect cake And then you can take that and you can slice it into the perfect flakes. And then right after that, you need to sell one to Mike at Briar Blues, who I hear is pressing the hell out of tobacco. Oh, and in case y'all are wondering what I'm doing here, I'm using the indentions on my hand to choke and carb the bowl at just the right level so that it smokes better. It works for me. I'm not explaining why. Yes, well, but how is Briar Elizabethan going to happen if it doesn't happen at Briar Blues Workshop? I'm also waiting for Briar Bluesberry and Baron Kudo. Of course, he has said Briar Bluesberry is probably never going to happen. But it does have a nice sound to it, doesn't it? Briar Bluesberry. Well, see, that's the great part there, Glenn. Mike has whole leaf. Oh, something else we learned this week. Martin forgets to give you your points after he's had a few too many shots, which is any more than one. Glenn, I actually believe that wholeheartedly, but then they have another resurgence at about 15 years. So between 8 and 15, if you get a vapor out to that 8-year mark, just seal it and write it down. Don't open it until it's 15. Because by then, all the oils will have finally infused out of that perique. And you're going to have some damn good shit. I'm talking about in the tin. Specifically in the tin. If you're trying to say you're jarring it, no. Once I open a tin, it is getting smoked. I am not quitting until it goes into the Frankenstein jar. And I'm going to be honest. What goes in the Frankenstein jar is very small amounts at the bottoms of tins. Or bags, depending upon how I'm getting it. But what is a Frankenstein jar? It's that jar that has collected every little bit of everything else that you've smoked for until it's full enough that you're like, screw it, let me smoke it. Glenn, that is actually just about perfect. With a 10, you never want it to go below 65 and you never want it to hit 80. Below 65, it'll actually stave off the abilities for the oils to basically infuse themselves back throughout the rest of the leaves. Above 80, they have a tendency to start going rancid. That's been my experience. Now, you got to remember, I worked in the cigar industry, and I learned a lot. I learned a very large, huge amount. Well, Glenn, I do have some scientific evidence to back up your experience. We kept a cigar humidor year round with a backup generator just for the humidor, just for the AC and climate control for the humidor. Big humidor, don't get me wrong. The whole store could be without power. That humidor would still have power, so that the humidifiers would run and that the temperatures would stay constant. That's a lot of money to drop into something that is worthless. So why did they do it? Well, I looked it up. For the exact same reasons as I told you. You want to keep your cigars and your pipe tobaccos above 65 degrees. Now, it doesn't have to be greatly above 65 degrees, and I'm not talking about, oh, I'm going outside and it's 20 freaking below like Boris would be. You know what? In that case, pack the pipe inside, go outside, smoke the hell out of it, and get back inside. You don't have to take it all out. Just take out what you're going to smoke. And you don't want it to be above 80 stored. Same thing there. Above 80, there's a tendency that the oils will start to go just slightly rancid. Which is why I used to have to tell people, if you're going to put your humidor on a nice brightly lit shelf, you're a fool. You don't leave it in the sun. You don't leave it where lights are shining on it, heating up the wood. You put it somewhere where it's in a room where it's bright enough to see, but climate controlled. There's a lot that goes into saving and preserving a good cigar for a long, long period of time. That is absolutely the truth, Glenn. Organic matter will break down under the sun. Including humans. You don't believe me? Go look at some of the crazy pictures of some of the truck drivers. 30 years on the road. The side that's inside the cab mostly. No wrinkles hardly at all. The side that's been right there by the window where the sun shines, and they've probably been smoking a cigarette or a cigar or a pipe the whole time. Wrinkly. Looks 30 years older. Just the truth. Well, Glenn, you take care. Sorry that it is so late into Sunday for you. But don't worry, because Boris just showed up and he'll pick up your slack. Not that there's much slack there, Glenn. Good seeing you, brother. You take care. Be well, and we'll see you again soon. Boris, it's already a blue day for Steph. This is the first time she's going to be doing a live stream without the skipper. So hold off on making it a blue day until after Steph gets off. We can make it a red letter day, just not the scarlet letter. That would be bad. So hey, bowl call. What you drinking? What you smoking? This is coffee in a Death Nuts mug. And this is a Savinelli Trevi KS 320 from the Pipe Nook. And in it is Sutliff Revelation. Fly swatter. Staff also remember that lava lamps are for lovers. It was pointed out by Martin during the Nashville Mafia show. And Boris has proven that he is the master of the shot clock. Steph, you know you shouldn't. One, you have kiddos to still take care of, mostly. I know mostly they are self-sufficient by this time of their lives, but just saying. Howdy, Gary. How are you doing today? I'm a little wore out from this week. Just a little extra tired. I gotta believe it's because of all the rain we've been having here in the Houston area. I thought about making Steph a mixtape. 5 minutes of rain here, 5 minutes of rain there. I'm doing pretty well, Gary. Pretty well. Except for these big ass freaking flies. But I swat them as I see them. And I think they're getting pretty used to the hat being really good at swatting the hell out of flying bugs. I get most of them in the air, which is crazy. I've killed 3 different wasps just this week. I keep looking for wherever they're making their nest, and I haven't seen it on my house, so I don't know. I'm just afraid that 9 months after Skip comes home, baby Donald will be born. They might have a baby boy and name him Boris. I mean, that's possible. Gary, we also have some sayings here in Texas when a fly lands somewhere near you. Ooh, well, let's not do that then, Steph. You are way too young to be a grandmother at this stage. No, you're not. I know. Trying to get my cat to come over here and not bite me. He's not going to do it. Stubborn. Big fat furry cat. I understand that, Steph. I'm kind of also right there in that same age range as where you and Skip are. I'm a little older than you and a bit younger than Skip. Well, my one and only. I did show y'all he's married, right? Well, he is married. I figure they'll have grandbabies coming along sooner or later. Boris, you take care. I know you're just going to go watch the Chelsea game. Like as if London had a good team. Come on. My cat will not come. Unlike a dog, which will come right up to you, no, this cat's like, let me in. I'm going to stand right here and stare at the door. He's staring at the door. I can't tell if he's staring at the door or his reflection in the little brass plate down at the bottom. I'm hoping it's the door. If he's staring at the brass plate, that means he's got an infatuation with himself. And that's just bad. Ugh. I gotta let him in. Fine. Steph, I'm going to give the best diplomatic answer as I possibly can to that. It is my go-to cigar for a reason, but I cannot guarantee that it will be to your taste bud satisfaction. But I feel that if you like smooth with just a touch of pepper and almost an imagining of some chocolate, and when I say an almost imagining of chocolate, I mean it's got a nice silky smoothness to you that will remind you of chocolate if it's a well-kept cigar. But yes, there is a reason why the black market is my go-to cigar. It's not the only cigar I'll smoke. I'll smoke hundreds, thousands. There's lots of great cigars out there. But if I'm in a shop and I'm not finding anything at all, and I see that they've got the black market on the shelf, I know I can at least find one. Yes, Gary, I do believe that my cat was saying he loves he, himself, and only himself. He's a bit of a chunky monkey, really. He's kind of decided that I'm his human, so if he's out and he smells the pipe or cigar smoke, he'll come right up because he knows right where I'm most likely going to be. Well, I will speak from experience. There are some people that it's just better if they don't have kids. Yes, yes. I understand that theory all too well, Steph. Because with 3 cats and 2 women, they have trained those women real well. The only thing I'm going to do for them is let them in the house. And that's mostly because I don't keep water out here. And I don't torture my animals. They have water and food inside. And if they really want in, I'll let them in. Now, my wife and my mother-in-law, I just cleaned 3 pounds of cat food out of the damn garbage disposal because the cats won't eat that. They'll eat it if they're hungry. Mike, that's impressive. That's very impressive. Well, I would agree with you, Gary, but 2 of them are lazy and won't do a damn thing. But Trump, that's my big fluffy cat. He chases all the rodents out of the damn yard, and I live not too very far from a creek, and we get a high amount of possums, raccoons, and wood rats and mice, and I don't worry about them with Trump patrolling out and about in the yard, because he's very good at getting them and killing them. Maybe not so much with eating them, not anymore, but he will get them and kill them, and he'll bring them right up, leave them in a specific spot. I figured out where his spot to leave them is. So I put a pan very flat out there so I could just reach down, grab the pan, sling it into a plastic bag out in the trash, and away it goes. Well, that's pretty awesome there, Mike. Nothing makes men melt as fast as babies. Y'all think I'm lying. Go find the smartest engineers you've ever heard of. Get 20 or 30 of them together. Drop an infant into the mix. They'll all be talking baby talk in minutes. All of them. It's like a disease or an infection. They suddenly can't speak in actual languages. Y'all think I'm kidding? I've seen it. It's crazy. Steph, that's your cat saying, I'm willing to share because you share with me. Oh yeah, Gary, he's definitely on rodent patrol. Now, he will catch the smaller lizards, and he will actually eat lizards. I guess he likes the flavor of lizards. I've seen him literally catch them and start eating them, and he saves the tail for last and gets it like a noodle and just goes. It's the weirdest, craziest kind of thing that you've ever seen, but I'm not going to try and train that out of him. Though I like lizards better than the other things. Though the possums do eat a shit ton of ticks. One of the best parts about possums is they eat ticks. Well, I'm having a hard time disagreeing with you there, Steph. But, you know, lived here in mosquito territory for most of my life, so I understand how it is to have biting, flying things all the time. See, Patch agrees with me. You cannot put babies in with engineers without watching them turn into absolute morons in seconds. But you take the baby away, they go right back to being geniuses. It's the craziest thing on the planet. Yes, society garlic is really good at repelling insects. That's one of the things I've planted around the house. And you can also use it to flavor certain dishes as you make them. Steph, yes, you can poke a hole in the cigar instead of cutting. Now, here's the issue there. You're going to need to poke a big enough hole. So if you're using like a sewing needle, you're going to need to poke several holes until you can get that cap to pop up a little bit anyways. If you do not have a specific cigar cutter, you know what? I will get a cigar. I will show you because I don't want this to be horrible. And I know a little bit about this. Okay. Using a poker. I would not suggest using a poker unless you have sharpened the tip. Most pokers are not very sharp. Okay. Let me try and get it to focus on... Hey, there we go. Okay, we can see that it is not in any way damaged. I'm glad I chose this one right now. I'm going to use the wire end of my check tool to show you something. You see this line right here on the cigar? It goes in a circle. But you see that line? And you can kind of imagine as it makes a small circle around the tip there. Take a sharp, if you do not have a sharp knife in your pocket, go to the kitchen and get your sharpest knife. Something with a point. Up. Okay, Steph, you're going to need a little bit more space there. Just a little bit. So I'm going to show you basically what to do with a good sharp knife. Okay. With the tip, you put it so that just a little bit is sticking past your thumb. And work around that hole that you've made until it is a little bit wider. You want it to be wider than what you would normally have for a pipe, but you do not want it to be all the way back down from the cap. And by cap, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show this very well. Okay, you're going to see some lines here on the cigar, right here. That top line that you're seeing is the top of the cap, and you do not want to cut even that far. So I will show y'all as best I can with a knife. You find that line that I described. You set the knife at a pretty sharp angle. I would say roughly 60 degrees. Make a small little cut, and you will turn the cigar along that line, or keeping the knife right along that line. Okay, now I was doing 5 things at once. 1, I was turning the cigar. 2, I was keeping pressure against the head of the cigar. 3, I was keeping the knife at the correct angle. And 4, I was pressing down just slightly. Not so much that you're trying to really cut into the cigar, but you want it to be more than just resting upon the cap. Now, some people will say, sure, bite it off. Okay. Let me show you the generalized, if I can get it to focus on it. That's about perfect with a knife of what you will be wanting to try and copy. You obviously had something that was about as big around as a check tool hole, at least in the picture you sent me. And you want to open that up by, call it 300%, maybe 400%. Now the reason I opened that specific way is so that I could close it back up so I could enjoy it later. Because I will smoke this later. I'm not going to smoke it now. Yeah, I might know a little thing or two about cigars. And yeah, I should probably teach people how to cut cigars. And unless your name is Charlie, your teeth probably do not have the right shape for just biting the end of a cigar off. By the way, howdy Jim. How's it been? How long you been lurking? Love having you here. Remember, Steph, do not say that Jim was part of the chair force. He was part of the Air Force. And later, when they let him start growing things, he was part of the hair force. in general, what I would like for people to do with cigars is go ahead and get a cigar punch for everything except for torpedoes. It works great. Jim, believe me, when I finally got out of AIT and was really able to go out in the field, there was pretty close to a yard of hair that was bundled up under the hat. Long as damn drill sergeants couldn't see it, you didn't have to worry about it. And no, out there in the field there wasn't an actual drill sergeant, but there were some that really thought that was the best way to act and be. So I'm going to sit there and see if I can't find a certain live stream that's supposed to go live here a little bit on my tablet. Because why are we here? Well, we're here to hang out with Steph. Wait a second. Hate to say this, but Steph's live. All right, everybody, get the hell out of here. By the way, y'all take very good care of yourselves. Take care of everybody as best you can. And you know what? Long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you soon right over on Steph's channel. Bye now.